Hello. Going to start in a minute.
I think
yours is a bit. You need to take it in a landscape mode.
If you can take me off for a moment, I'll just turn it around.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yes. Yeah. I'm okay. Yes.
Yeah, good to meet
I'm
you
okay.
again.
I'm just getting ready, and we have just kickstart this Manav Utsav, as you know. Behind the scenes, we're all very busy, sort of dealing with the partners and the kind of thing. And you must be as well, isn't it? In the morning, we have been doing that.
Absolutely.
How are you doing today?
All right. Still chugging along. It's been a good day.
Yes.
So good sunshine outside. Can't complain.
Yeah, it has been really, really nice. True. But, and even the Gorgeous program that we were running just before this one. Absolutely. It was absolutely fantastic. Like, the discussion went on very well. But I think because of the language sort of thing, I was thinking that when you come to the studio, I'm going to actually ask you to kind of give our audience an overview of what happened and how interesting that event was.
Absolutely. So, can you hear me properly to begin with?
I can actually, yes, yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this program, so as you know, Sangeet Foundation is about, creating awareness about mental health and addressing it through music and the arts as a mechanism of getting the message across, and also as a complementary therapy. So this today, and starting with Manav Utsav, it's about celebration of life. That's what we do with Manav Utsav, and very happy to be a partner in that as Sangeet Foundation. So this was a very special kind of an episode which we had. And why this is special is that this is a humongous task that this filmmaker Shubhrajit Mitra has taken up. This is a sequel to Satyajit Ray's Opus trilogy.
Okay.
So Pather Pachali by Satyajit Ray is a world-renowned kind of a movie. It's an iconic movie, right? And he's been awarded his Lifetime Achievement Award, Satyajit Ray, by the Guild. So to take on that challenge to create a sequel itself requires a lot of courage of conviction to be able to say that, we can do that. So Shubhrajit Nandi has taken this up, but it's not about that particular movie itself, Ovijatrik. It's also about his life, and he's done quite a few movies about mental health. So he spoke about his experience with mental health and the arts, right? And how it has helped him evolve over a period of time, and how he has used, so he has created movies and around mental health to create, and that has helped in creating awareness. So that is what the movie is about. That's what the session was about, to say, about his art form and the mental health part of it. And obviously it culminated in this movie, discussion around the movie Ovijatrik, which is currently doing the rounds of all the film festivals, and it has been the toast in all the film festivals. It has won a lot of awards around the world, and the music director himself is Pandit Bikram Ghosh, and Pandit Bikram Ghosh is a patron of Sangeet Foundation as well. He's a world-renowned percussionist as well as a music composer. So yes, so that is what we discussed, and he of course discussed the intricacies of movie making, the intricacies of making a period movie. So it's actually a black and white, so that it's a throwback into the past, and he uses this medium of a black and white movie to make this movie. And it's very interesting how he talks about recreating the the time, because those times had very specific things. He calls out things like the dresses. They were not mill made, right? So they were handloom. So he had to recreate that. The Ghats of Benares. He had to recreate that Ghats of Benares from those times and not the modern times. And anyway, so that was a very interesting kind of a conversation. And yeah, so that it was a fabulous kind of a discussion we had there. And this was hosted by Dr. Shagurika Goldar, and she has been on Manav Utsav earlier last year, and yeah, and she's fabulous in terms of her whole hosting part of it. Even the video was edited by her, and the introduction was by Indrani Bhattacharya, who's the head of programs for Sangeet Foundation.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because last year during this time, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like yesterday, we had to talk to the local radio station regarding what this Manav Utsav is, and now that we're in the second year, what can we expect more from it? And lots of people who basically joined last year, I think they came back asking, well, is this more kind of an entertainment program? Well, and is it more about music, just arts and dance and all of that? So I said, well, I won't actually say it just creative or just entertainment, because the kind of programs that we have been doing last year. So, say for example, the production that we had, the Yellow Submarine that you did, which was also shown in the International Film Festival for the children. I believe that requires an element of expertise, but also a management skill, and I think that there are lots to learn from that expertise. So, and then thinking through it, I think we all discussed this quite a few times, that we need to keep going and build on extra elements each time that we are back with Manav Utsav. And this year, as you're saying, like during the pandemic, we have found that there was lots of skills gap. There are lots of gaps in understanding digital platforms. There was this digital divide and all of that. So, in a way, we're kind of trying to create that empowerment, isn't it? So that conversation needs to happen. And I definitely remember Dr. Goldar and Indrani Bhattacharya as well. It has been fantastic working together last year. So, yeah, but this year, of course, because of the situation, everything got a little bit delayed as well. So we kind of, but we are back in flow. Before we get started on some other questions, I would like to, because we have done two programs together now. We have got a working partnership with the university as well. How do you visualize Sangeet Foundation in the future? Again, if I'm coming from that just entertainment point, how do you position yourself as Sangeet Foundation within the society, within the community, within the education sector, and all of it?
Absolutely. So, but before I proceed with that, I just wanted to, just quote Shubhrajit Mitra and what he said about mental health and music. You see, and because the program is in Bengali, so a lot of people may not be able to understand it. People who don't understand Bengali, but I will talk about this, and probably if we can see later on, probably what Bikram Ghosh had to say about him, about the program as well. So if you have the video, we can have a look. But so he says, very interesting, mental health and music is very interrelated, or rather field of creativity and art if we consider the larger picture, depression is a journey inwards. A person succumbs to his own feelings and gets drowned in that gradually to point of no return. Whereas arts is a medium which helps a person to express. It's a journey outwards, to pour out the pent up emotions through his or her creative form. That's the reason I feel it's like a therapy, a firm thread to cure any mental health issue. During the lockdown, the outpouring of inner creative self in the social media has helped so many people, our near and dear ones, to come out stronger, unscathed. Right? So that is what he has to say. And I was just reading that out, and it was a beautiful message. And yes, that pandemic has thrown up so many challenges, yet so many opportunities. So yes, in terms of mental health, it has brought in. So what is mainstream now is the pandemic-related mental health, um, which has been impacting quite a few people. But that should not actually put the mental health issues of others who has had it earlier on. So for them it's a double whammy. So they have had their own plus the pandemic. Together it has been very painful for them. So that is why we need to be able to address that. Now, coming to the question of Sangeet Foundation, what we believe in, what we would want to do, ultimately there are two things which we need to do. So based on what we believe in, we need to create that awareness, right? So that people are aware that mental health is an issue, it's an enemy. We need to be able to identify that enemy, and all of us need to be aware that that enemy exists. If we are not aware, we will not know that enemy exists, and we will not be in a position to battle the enemy. And to be able to do that, once we have identified the enemy, that's 50% of the battle won. And then you can prepare to battle the enemy. That's next 50%. Now, where do we start? We need to start young, right? We need to catch them young. So I think, like we have religious studies in schools, right? We have introduced that. Sex education in school, it's about creating awareness. Mental health should be on the curriculum of people to say, so that they are in a position, as they grow, they are in a position to identify that mental health is an issue, right? And that they are able to battle that as well. You see, and as they grow older, so it doesn't hit them as a surprise that mental health is an issue. So today what happens is, you have, in the UK at least, there's quite a good infrastructure, right? So in terms of the SENs who are there. But that is only after a child is diagnosed to have a mental health issue or a developmental issue. You have autism, you have ADHD and so on. So, but from the point of not knowing and knowing, that gap needs to be filled. And to be able to fill that gap, that is about awareness, even within the children, to say, I'm feeling a bit down, I'm not able to work, I'm not being a naughty child, I need help. And that kind of a message that needs to go out, and it should be part of the curriculum. That is number one. Number two, and I know it's a big ask, but what we would want to do, music and the arts, like we today, what happens in physical health, right? When people have fever, so we say, let it remain, or take a couple of paracetamols, right? When you have a bit of breathing problem, you say do yoga, right? But when it starts becoming a problem, then you go to a doctor. The doctor says medication. That's what we need to do, and then you have your complementary therapies like yoga and meditation and so on. Similarly, in mental health, we should be in a position where the doctor sees a mental health issue. They should be able to use music and the arts as part of their weaponry and say, if you have this problem, probably this is the solution for you. And today it's all anecdotal. People use music, but it's all sporadic. It's not uniform because there is not enough kind of available information around that, and awareness and our understanding of how music and the arts can help. We know it does. We know yeah, in certain cases, this is what it is. There are lots of experiments going around, but can we bring it to a level of being able to when you diagnose, you prescribe. This is your medicine, and the medicine is music, right? So that is the kind of a thing, and to be able to do that, we should be able to lobby the government to say there needs to be more awareness about mental health, and there should be more funding, there should be more focus on how we can address mental health to begin with, and then how can we use music and the arts, because before you get to lose lives, you can save lives, and get them to have a fantastic life ahead.
That's wonderful. I think I saw this. This is very interesting that you brought it in, which is, I would like to share this as an overlay for our audience as well, which says, I have a therapist. Her name is Music. I quite like it, actually. The other day when I went into the Sangeet Foundation webpage, I found this and I thought, well, this is really interesting because the conversation has now started within the school curriculum. Like in the university, we are kind of planning and not just planning, but we have started actually embedding mental wellness. Within the curriculum, because what we have found is that as soon as someone enters from the school level to the university level, there is an amount of anxiety that comes with the assignments that they have to submit or the work that they have to go through, because in school it's very much guided. They are taken step by step through the process. However, in university, it's an independent work. So the curriculum works quite differently as opposed to the school. And I think that there is so the universities are working at the moment on this, and the advanced HT, which kind of trains up the people like us for lecturing and all of that. They have got also a model. If you're not aware of, I would say definitely go into the Advanced HT website, because there is a very good model where you can. The Sangeet Foundation is already doing some of the things, and when you're talking about therapy, yes, alternative therapies must be available at the school level, because some of the things it's not just about the medicine, not actually medicalizing the problem, but rather thinking from the other side that how we can actually create a coherent pathway to which someone can overcome it in the future. So yeah, absolutely. I think I do agree with that. And you have been doing really some fantastic work around. And I know that we have you have provided us with a compilation of the work that you have done. And with your permission, I would like to play that for our audience as well, because it kind of creates a massive volume of work that requires possibly in the future a very systematic review, and that can only come through research pathways, I would say, because it's not just entertainment, it's very much about understanding social psychology and sociology, and in some ways it's very much about digital anthropology as well. So I would say, if you, of course, with your permission, if you allow me to kind of play that, I would like to play that for my audience at the moment. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Let's have a watch.
This is a charity which I have set up, and my motto is happiness through music and the arts.
It's basically our baby. It's more my husband's brainchild.
So if you talk about happiness, happiness is a state of mind. Dig a bit deeper, it's about mental health.
Because we are big time into music, we love our music. So we just thought, why not combine the two together and see what we can come up with.
And it has been proven that music can help in addressing mental health issues.
I think Sangeet Foundation is doing wonderful work in the area of mental health.
Namaskar, I am Bikram Ghosh, and I'd like to congratulate Sangeet Foundation for the wonderful work they're doing.
Let us all get together, because Sangeet Foundation believes in the fact that we can all get together by supporting the performing arts and music. Don't forget about that, please, because music brings the world together.
Sangeet Foundation aims to create awareness about mental health in the South Asian diaspora and use music and the art forms to create this awareness.
I'm very proud to be associated with Sangeet Foundation, who are working relentlessly to increase awareness about mental health through music.
A very warm hello to everyone at Sangeet Foundation. I, Ramanjit Kaur, wish you well on World Mental Health Day.
Sangeet Foundation. All of us require good mental health. We need to support this cause.
Music can give you immense happiness and love. So always be in music.
इस संगीत फाउंडेशन में हमारे साथ जुड़िए और इसका हिस्सा बनिए, इसको शक्ति दीजिए। धन्यवाद।
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. It's a massive sort of, massive area of work that you have touched upon, from music to human trafficking, from there to small productions with children. So it's kind of, you're gradually transferring possibly in the States where you're trying to build a volume of work that can also in the future lead to more kind of productions where you bring in people and tell the story, and so it's massive, really. Can I ask you, how do you manage? Because I know that you have got other things in your life as well, and you have got, it's a massive work. So do you actually sleep?
Absolutely. I mean, basically, see, I'm fortunate that I have so many people who believe in the cause and who have come forward and helped me with this. Typically, what happens is, like I say, I have this begging bowl which I go with and say, what can you contribute? So somebody contributes the website, somebody does the posters, somebody says, no, I'll contact the artist. The artists come and say, I can do this program for you, right? I can talk about it. So, getting the messages across. So, and if you remember, I went to you when we were trying to do the stage show, and I reached out to you with my begging bowl. And then in fell Manav Utsav in it, and we participated. It flowered. A lot of things happened. So, and I'm so fortunate that so many people have come in and contributed. Indrani Bhattacharya has reached out to a lot of other people to get them on Sangeet Foundation, and we have Shahanshah Mirza, who's a great grandson of Wajid Ali Shah, the last Nawab of Awadh. Dr. Ramu Sinha, who is a movie maker in California. So we have had, so it is a big cauldron where a lot of people, different things have been mixed in, and the brew is delicious, you see. And for me, I am still, I'm the pot. But what goes into the pot is others who do all that stuff. So I don't have to do much. I just have to keep the pot boiling, holding it and requesting people to put stuff into the pot. That's all.
Well, actually, that's not all. That's what we call innovation. And if you combine that innovation with research, it's a massive thing that can actually contribute to change the society on how you understand. And so it's really a massive piece of work, I would say, you have done. So,
thank you. But the other thing I wanted to say is that by reaching out to people, I had another hidden agenda in the whole piece, right? The hidden agenda was when I talk to people and ask them to participate, to contribute into this cauldron of mine. So my hidden agenda is, by this, I am talking about the mental health piece, creating awareness, and getting the people to think about mental health as well. You see, so when they start contributing, I ask them to put in a message about mental health. So when they're putting that message around mental health, they're also thinking about the whole thing. When I put children on the job and say, we are creating this stories. So this is about mental health. So it creates an awareness at different stages. So that's my hidden agenda, to say, it should be on the plates of people. And the more people you involve, more people you go your begging bowl with. And when they contribute to it, they are also thinking about mental health, and that becomes a big thing for them, you see.
That's absolutely, yes. And I think that's how you build a narrative around it as well, isn't it? The more we talk about it, the more we discuss, we try to address that taboo element that exists in our society. And no, that's really wonderful. And, on that note, if we can have something from you, I can see you have got the microphone. There's your guitar there then. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you take us to your world where we can be more happy and peaceful at the moment, and
Okay. So what I would like to do is, people who have heard me sing before, like to do something a little bit different. So, and since given that it's Manav Utsav, celebration of life, this is a celebration of seasons, and this particular song that I'm going to do, it's basically from the place I have been born and brought up in Patna, Bihar, right? So it's a Bhojpuri song. I hope you enjoy it. Mostly it should be the lyrics. Like I said, it's a celebration of the seasons. So I'll just do one part of one season because otherwise it's a long song. So, and it's about the flute player, and when you say the flute player, it's about the Basuri Wala or, Krishna. So it's a reference to Krishna as well. It has a reference to Krishna, but here goes. तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर ओके हूँ घायल हो जाला तो हम का करी ओके हूँ घायल हो जाला तो हम का करी केहू कन्नो बहाई नयन बागा कर केहू कन्नो बहाई नयन बागा कर केहू खाई महुरवा न रही बेबी कर केहू खाई महुरवा न रही बेबी कर ई बिरनी के जियरा ई बिरनी के जियरा जगावे लागल ई बिरनी के जियरा जगावे लागल ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना देख सावन भदौआ के करिए घटा देख सावन भदौआ के करिए घटा मोर नाचे पपिया के सुंदर छटा मोर नाचे पपिया के सुंदर छटा मेघ बरसे उमर के मेघ बरसे उमर के हमारा अंगना मेघ बरसे उमर के हमारा अंगना ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर तान लहरे बसुरिया कदमिया ऊपर ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी ओके हूँ घायल हो जाना तो हम का करी
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, so did you learn to do your music on your own? That's another question of interest.
Yes. So essentially, I used to sing in schools. We have this thing about the teacher is not there in the class. So substitute teacher would come and say, "Can one of you guys come and sing in front of the class?" Everybody say, "Hey, Jayanta, can you go there?" So put me in front of the class. We do some songs. Then slowly, the music club was there, and we got into it. And there was a person who used to play the guitar with me. And then we graduated from school, went to college. This person was not there anymore with me, and he was in somewhere else. It was, of course, in the same college, but another department and so on. So I had nobody to play guitar with me, somebody to accompany me. So I had to learn this myself, you see. So I had to, and of course, in those days, getting a guitar teacher was not easy inside the college. So I did ask my friend to teach me. So he did the initial basics for me, and then from there on, I was on my own. So I learned it basically to accompany myself. That's all.
That's interesting because I mean, how do you see your face when you actually say that you used to go up and somebody from the class would have pushed you to say, well, you go and stand and sing on the stage, to where we are now, in a digital age, we've got so much support around us. with all the karaoke and all the different kinds of support system. I bet you didn't have that, isn't it? So how difficult was that? So how difficult was that? Were you more into, how we would do rhythms on the table, or with your foot, or with your hand, and that had that community feelings, isn't it?
True. So it's all about that around the fireside kind of a thing, where all friends get together. If somebody's playing that, strumming the guitar, and others have a table or something, or a drum, drum not in a drum set, but water drum turned upside down, and you play the drums on that water drum, and somebody's singing, the other guys are dancing, they're singing along with you. Some of them are in tune, some of them are not in tune, but it's a great community spirit and great fun. So it's more like that for me, so not so much of a formal kind of an entertainment. So that's what I focus on, basically. That's what I love to do, essentially.
And that's now started here as well in the school curriculum, So what have you got around you that can make music? What have you got? Something like, you don't have to have instruments, but you have got things like spoons, like plates, like pen, pencil, and all of that. And to actually, it's very much about celebrating that rhythm of life, rather than, you're coming with some instrument and you have got the designs and perfect background. So in the digital age, I feel that there are two kinds of life. One is that we show a very perfect life on screen, where everything is beautiful, everything is decorated and all of that. And then you've got the other part, where actually you come as your life, as, you portray yourself as you would live your life on a daily basis. So when it comes to the production side of it, what would you prefer? Like, how do you like to see the digital screens? Do you want to, because I've seen that you take a very minimalist approach, rather than focusing on designs, you focus on people, and that's one of the very unique thing, I would say. There are lots of events going on digital spaces, but the focus sometimes is very much on the background, sometimes very much on how we dress up, sometimes how much we present, and that's a kind of what I would say, that's a kind of a kind of structure that possibly the very elitist capitalist agenda of digital platforms serve quite a lot, however, we are living also in an age where startups are more preferred rather than big businesses. So the students of this generation, they prefer to work on their own, rather than depend on the big institutional structures.
True.
So how do you position yourself? How do you see this? And what are your thoughts on that realm? When you're doing programs, do you give much of your thought into those things?
Not really, but what I do love doing is to work with people, include people. Inclusive is probably a bit different, but I like to include people who are around me. So you sit around, sing with people. So not everybody is a perfect singer, and neither am I. I'm not a television singer or a playback singer or anything. But it's about the community feeling, like you said. It's about involving people, and people also. So some people like that structure where people want to sing, so they like the karaoke piece with backing track and so on. But what happens is, with the backing tracks and so on, you don't have the spontaneity where you can sit around and say, I want to sing that song. But then if you don't have the track, you're stuck, right? Whereas with a guitar, and where somebody wants to sing a song, I can play the guitar along with them. And that is where the happiness with your music is, where you don't have to stress around your music, but you are doing your music straight from the heart, and just enjoying it. That's the kind of structure that even though I've worked for corporates throughout my life, but in my heart, I'm a startup, essentially. You see, so, and I love doing it.
Yeah, and actually, possibly that brings out the creativity from within more prominently, rather than having some other kind of support or. But Another question, regarding this one, when we are talking about this like grassroots approach. So how do you find the grassroots approach? So what do you think that for a society in the future, do you think that this grassroots approach that you take, where you said that you take people around you, so to provide that platform, and part of the work that we are doing, Manav Utsav, is the same, because, and that's where we work together very well, because of course our focus is on people who are working on the ground. So what are the challenges, do you think? And this is for very much for inspiring the young generation, because we have got lots of people around now who actually know about our opportunity work and the Manav Utsav festival and everything, but they also try to understand how they can take this and what are the challenges. So if you would like to share something on that, would be great.
So basically, if I understand you understand what you're getting at, is basically, see, everybody requires validation, right? So when you are working on the ground with the people, right, and people participate and you appreciate their work, that helps them with their with their minds to be in a happy state. Whereas everybody undergoes this uncertainty: am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Right? Nobody has said anything, so nobody might say anything negative or either. But then you go through that process, and I've been through that process as well. And I said, nobody has said anything. Is it really that bad that nobody can comment on that? So and that, I think, being involved, you see, that helps with your mental well-being, getting involved, involving people, right? So we can help each other with that. And I think that is important for the new generation to be able to understand that it's not being individualistic. You can be individualistic. Obviously, you have your strengths and weaknesses. It's about putting everything and working in teams, small teams maybe, but it's about complementing each other. You see, it's about working with each other, with each other's strengths, and complementing as in with the E and with the I, and to be able to complement others on what they do well. You see, so that is important, and it's not about being competitive. So if the fish is competitive with the monkey to say, oh, I can do things better than the monkey, then there's a problem, because the fish does something different and the monkey does something different, right? And that we need to remember, that we are probably different. We have different strengths, different weaknesses, and we need to combine our strengths and work together. And that is one. And second thing, I think, is, which is a very favorite thing of mine, is to be kind. Kindness is, when you perceive a weakness, you need to be kind and say that it's probably time to help that person rather than criticize.
I mean, that's very interesting because, sorry, I was muted there. That's very interesting because one of our partners this morning, she sent us, probably celebrate our similarities. And she sent me a text this morning with 5 things to tell yourself today. And the first one was, today, worry about other people. Don't worry about other people's opinions of you. Second, focus on today's victories, not on your shortcomings. Third, you are doing a great job. Just tell that to yourself. You don't need a validation, really. Don't take life so seriously, because life is short and the pandemic has taught us lots of lessons. Enjoy the little things, And it's very interesting because I believe that, these are the things that we have forgotten in a digital age, because we are more into the immediacy of the platform, where we worry too much about the comments, and that too happens with the mental health, mental wellness of young generation, young people. So one of the organizations who are also partnering this year, is ACM, and who works with the young people. So they have been also talking in different other events about that, the social media is good. It's really good if you are using that for creativity, if you're using that to connect with people, to build a network of people, like we build a network of people around the pandemic, to support each other, to be by the side of each other. And that's a kind of relationship that we build. On the other hand, there is stress. Yeah, there is lots of stress. Yeah.
So the social media, like I always like to say, and I'm interrupting you here.
No, that's good.
Yeah. So it's the knife kills people, but it also cuts onions. You see. So that's social media. So if you want to cut onions with that,
yes,
your choice. You want to kill people with that, your choice again. So, and we need to be careful that we don't wield it, differently and cut people around.
No, yeah, but being a mother of a young child, I feel that it's my responsibility to kind of build an example of practice on the digital media, because of course when they are going to be growing up and they will be in a society where there will be Instagram posts and there will be Facebook posts and God knows what, I quite like all the new coffee house kind of platform where you can only speak. You don't have to show anything, but you speak to people, which is kind of the Clubhouse. It's called. It's really good.
Yeah.
In that sense, it's really good. It's very auditory. But I think that it's part of me feels that it's our responsibility to kind of put that example. Like, how do we use the digital media innovatively? So and that's what you have been doing as well. But I think we are at a point now where I believe that we have got some time to kind of show I would like to share my screen and show the Bikramjit one. I don't have the video here, but definitely I can do a share screen with the audience to show the message. And it's a wonderful one again that we have got from yeah, so I'm trying to share this one. Bear with me. There we are. And this is where we go.
Namaskar, I'm Vikram Ghosh, and I am a patron of Sangeet Foundation. I'm really happy to announce that somebody who's really close to me is coming to Sangeet Foundation to talk about mental health as well as his movie making. Shubhrajit Mitro is somebody I've known all my life because he's a relative of mine. But I never could have predicted that one day he would become this great filmmaker. When I worked with him in Abhijatrik, I was astounded by not just the talent that he brings on board, but the kind of homework he did, the kind of intuitiveness he has, be it in direction, be it in the music, be it in the cinematography. He is alert in every single department of filmmaking. Frankly, I have been really impressed through my experience with him. And Shubhrajit, if you're watching this, well, I must say that Abhijatrik has been one of my most beautiful experiences with film ever. I am really glad that the movie has turned out to be fantastic. It's been heralded across the globe already. So many laurels already. And I'm very, very happy that people are loving the music. We had a tall order, both Shubhrajit, myself, everybody. A continuation of the Apu trilogy is not something people would attempt very easily unless you had tremendous confidence. So yes, we all put in our best, and we're very, very happy that everybody is loving what we've done. So Shubhrajit, you've done fantastic work. Very, very proud of you. I've said it many times already to you, that superlative work. And I'm sure Sangeet Foundation, all your members are going to enjoy this session with him, because he's truly one of the young greats of Bengali cinema.
So this is for our audience. So those of us who have not actually managed to catch up, I would say definitely go and revisit the program that we had, and you will be able to have a view of what Subhajit is doing and his work and the documentaries that he has produced. And that's going to be a wonderful one, of course. I mean, more to come during this time as well. On that note, I will ask you to take us on a musical journey again. Have you got a song ready there for us?
Okay, so I'll do a a soul uplifting song, and this is an old song, a Carpenter's song. I hope you enjoy this. This is from my childhood, so I'm just revisiting my childhood here. Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. Everything I want the world to be is now coming true, especially for me. And the reason is clear, it's because you are here. You're the nearest thing to heaven that I see. I'm on the top of the world, I'm looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world. Something in the wind just reminded me, and it's telling me that things are not the same. In the breeze of the leaves and the touch of the breeze, there's a pleasant sense of happiness for me. There is only one wish on my mind. When this day's through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world, I'm looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world. I'm on the top of the world, I'm looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world. Your love put me at the top of the world. Your love put me on the top of the world. Thank you.
Thank you again. I mean, that's amazing, and keep doing this music because it's really good. And I think that the more we kind of listen from you, it provides a kind of it helps our young generation to think about music, in a way that they can relate and in this whole world, the experience of music. I would then, I mean, as we are coming towards the very end of the session, I know that you have also planned. is the coffee painting, actually. So the coffee painting, would you like to, I would just like to share this one with our audience. So we have got this coffee painting with Sudhakshina Ghosh, which is on the 11th of July at 3 p.m. So please do join us. It's going to be a very interesting one. Back to you, Judge. How, will you like to tell us a little bit about that event that we are putting together on that day?
Right. So, Sudhakshina Ghosh, I think she belongs to the cradle of Bengali culture, which is Shantiniketan. And but she's traveled around the world. I met her in Singapore, 25 years back, and we used to have these community events in terms of music, dance. Obviously, so we used to have these group songs, group dances, and we used to have these rehearsals. We used to go to each other's houses, various people. So there was a big community there, and we used to do that. And obviously she has been a painter as well, and she is a very multi-talented person. I've seen her do a lot of fantastic work. So then in between, her husband hasn't had an assignment in the UK, and they came to Reading, and they were staying in Reading, and we were in Reading. What a coincidence. And we used to go, and we had some good times together. And that is where she started her coffee painting. I don't want to steal her thunder. I think she can tell a story better than I can for her. Yes, and the other thing which I found really interesting is that there's this book by the father of Satyajit Ray, Upendra Kishore Rai Chaudhary. You see, and he has written a book called Abul Tabul, which is a nonsensical rhymes, and it has got quite a few lovely characters, fictitious characters in that. And what she's done is she's done a video with animation and with narration, and the narration she's done it herself. So the male voice, female voice, and male voice in different personality voices as well. And she's used the technology to distort the voice and so on. And fantastic work, and I was so impressed with her. But most importantly, her coffee painting work that she started in Reading, incidentally, in the UK. And that has there is a connection to mental health. Perhaps I'll allow her to talk about that. But about the particular program, what we would want to do, what I have requested her, and what she has proposed is that we do a workshop where she can come and show all the how it is going to be done. And obviously, she's going to send out the prerequisites in the list of items that you need to have: the coffee, the glue, the paper, brushes, and so on, typically. But there are other stuff as well, which you need to be prepared with, where she's going to come and demonstrate and give you some time to do that work. So you can go ahead and do it on your own, come back and probably talk about it, how your experiences were. You can put it up as well, and everybody can see. So we would have this workshop where you can learn coffee painting. You can know more about coffee painting, because it's a very interesting medium of art. You see, because it's monochromatic. It's like sketching. It's not multiple colors and so on. And she's going to talk about that. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting. And I am very excited to learn that from her as well. So Sudhakshina Ghosh, Sudhakshina Di is, very inspirational. And we really look forward to having her on 11th of July, 3 p.m.
Yes, that's wonderful, because some of the people from here as well, like getting lots of requests. So there will be, it will be very much like a workshop kind. But as I said, that this year the focus is very much on community empowerment, so that people find something, because lots of people have lost their job, but they're trying to upskill themselves. And we are using Manav Utsav as a platform to provide that skills. And this is going to be a very unique one. So thank you very much for that. Of course, for closing it and also for running it. we will be also doing lots of art, and we will be doing sessions around diabetes. We will be doing sessions around the WHO mental health training to have more community ambassadors, who can work with the community as a first phase of mental health. So it's all going to come. So a month of celebration, definitely. But so on that note, thank you very much for joining us today, and looking forward to other events, collaborating, and through this month of Manav Utsav, and hopefully we keep ourselves going.
Absolutely. And we should also have we will also have this program on Rabindranath and mental health.
Yeah.
And that on 7th of August. And this is, so to give a sneak peek, Rabindranath Tagore, the national poet of India and Bangladesh, he actually had a lot of mental health issues, you see, and because he's seen death early in life of his close ones. So he used to have this conversation with Mr. C.F. Andrews of the UK, and this will be a conversation around that with a lot of beautiful songs in between which relate to mental health. Rabindra Sangeet, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We'll subtitle it as well so that you can understand. This promises to be a fabulous program as well.
Fantastic, that's wonderful. And those of you who are watching, if you can, if you want to participate, what we are also doing this year is we are trying to do some short 20-minute talk. So if you are doing something very interesting and you want a platform to kind of talk about that and inspire people, so kind of foundation, what is called? It's inspirations. Digital influencers. So if you want to bring that to us, definitely get in touch. We have got the website and we have got our email and the WhatsApp. So if you want to get in touch, please do get in touch. And looking forward to work with you all. Thank you very much again, Ranjare, the founder director of Sangeet Foundation. And thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you soon in another program. Thank you.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. And all the best to Manav Utsav.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Thank you.